So today, we're diving into something really powerful. We're going to talk about how to take our darkest emotions, the anger, the pain, and actually forge them into an incredible source of strength. Let's get into it.
Let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're just on autopilot? Like you wake up, you go through the exact same motions, and you're secretly hoping something, anything, will change. But deep down, you know you're just stuck in the same old loop.
Well, that feeling, it's a real thing. It's what happens when we become a living, breathing record of our past. We basically become an artifact of our own environment.
I mean, think about it. Most of us, we roll out of bed on the same side, we hit snooze with the same finger, we shuffle over to the kitchen for that same favorite mug. We are literally running on a program. And here's the key. Because of that, we're thinking the same thoughts, which create the exact same feelings, day in and day out.
But what happens when that routine, that environment, becomes more than just, a boring rut? What happens when it becomes a complete and total nightmare? And this right here is where our story really kicks off. We're shifting gears from the simple problem of being stuck to the massive challenge of being trapped in a situation that is just awful. I mean, can you imagine being stuck with what the source material calls a demon parasite? Or, being tangled up with someone who literally seems to feed on your unhappiness? That's the kind of extreme environment that forces you to make a change.
Okay, so this brings us to a really important idea, the shadow. Society's always telling us to push down our dark side, right? Never get angry, never be aggressive. But the truth is, we all have a shadow. And get this, you can't outrun it, but you can learn to make it work for you. And there is no better example of this than the Celtic Queen Boudica. When she was publicly flogged by the Romans and her daughters were attacked, she could have just been crushed by it. She could have been defined by that suffering, but instead, she tapped into something else, something primal.
In psychology, there is a term for this, narcissistic rage. It's that insanely powerful surge of energy you feel when your very identity, your sense of self-worth, is under direct attack. It is raw, it is powerful, and yeah, if you let it, it can be incredibly destructive.
But here's the genius of Boudica. She didn't let that rage just burn her up from the inside. Nope, she used it as grist for her mill. She took all that raw, destructive energy and decided to grind it down into something useful. The fuel for a full-blown rebellion. So how in the world did she do it? Well, it turns out she followed a kind of blueprint, a way of forging real power directly from her deepest pain. And guess what? It's a blueprint that every single one of us can learn from. Here it is, the Rebel's Blueprint, just 4 steps. First, transmute the unpleasant. Second, focus on the can-do portion. Third, fire up a new vision. And fourth, use your dark side. Okay, let's break these down one by one.
All right, step 1, transmute the unpleasant. Look at this comparison, it says it all. Reactive anger, that just keeps you stuck in a loop. You think the same angry thoughts, you feel the same angry feelings, and your body just gets used to being in that state. But proactive transmutation, that's where the magic is. That's taking that internal fire and using it to forge something new. It's about turning a terrible situation into immediate, powerful action. Now, step 2, and this is huge. It is so easy to get completely overwhelmed by a problem you feel like you can't control. For Boudica, the problem was almost comically huge. The entire Roman army was basically sitting on her doorstep. But she didn't focus on the whole massive problem. She focused on the can-do portion. I mean, she couldn't magically make the Roman Empire disappear, right? But what could she do? Right then, right there. She could rally the tribes. She zeroed in on the one thing she could influence and started right there. And by taking that one single action, she cast a powerful vote. It was a vote for a brand new identity. She actively chose not to be a victim, but to become a warrior queen. And that's something to remember. Every action we take is a vote for the person we want to be. So step 3 builds on this idea. Firing a new vision. Real, lasting change demands that you think beyond your current situation. Think about leaders like William Wallace, or Queen Elizabeth I, or Boudica herself. They all had visions that were so clear, so powerful, that they started living as if they were already real. Boudica had to feel a future of freedom. She couldn't even see it.
And that brings us to the final step, number 4. Use your dark side for good. Don't run from it. That shadow self you have, it holds an incredible amount of creativity and raw energy.
The people who've hurt you, they can become the unintentional inspiration for your greatest achievements. You could channel that intense energy in a healthy way to fuel your true mission.
So, we've walked through Boudica's blueprint for turning pure rage into a history-making rebellion. But let's be clear, this isn't just some old history lesson. This is about your declaration of war on whatever it is that's holding you back. So, I'm asking you, straight up, what are you going to do about it? What's your nightmare environment, and how are you going to respond? Because here's the bottom line. Even when you are completely behind the eight ball, you are the only person on this planet who can provide yourself with the mindset to fight back. That power is 100% yours. So, here's your first can-do action. Start today, right now. Define your major purpose, your personal rebellion, your new reality. Write it down and paste it on your mirror. Look at it every single day. Let that be the very first vote you cast for the incredible future you're about to build.